try stream output. Swear, learning how to do this whole fucking streaming thing is more stressful than learning how to program. Been melting my fucking brain. Cool. All right, boys. We are back in biz. Let's take a look, see what our output is. Advanced. Hey, all right. We got the good. We got that good. Let's go ahead and switch these, though, to like potato quality. Oh. Fantastic. Let me actually, this light is already blinding me. All right, there we go. Probably looks halfway decent now. Yeah, I would say that looks good. Cool. All right. Let's just say preview, minimize that, and get cracking.
In the opposite direction. So this we want to multiply with -1. Also, we want to go further than vector with
some magic numbers.
1. So this I will multiply with the push underscore distance, which doesn't exist yet. So var push underscore distance. With a value, I have gone with 130. Now with between and the target, that means now we can mess with the velocity. The way I have done that is I created a var push underscore direction, which is also going to be a vector 2. And this push direction, we're going to add to the velocity. Push direction, and that way, whatever this value is going to be, it's going to reference the movement of the block, which we are going to set via the push function and a tween. Effectively, all I want to do is tween property where I'm targeting the block itself, and then the push direction variable. The target value is going to be target, the thing we have just done, and for the duration, 0.1 seconds. After that, when the tween is done, the target should be vector 2.0 over a duration of 0.2 seconds. So we are pushing the block for this amount of time, and then we stop doing that. And all of this changes gradually, which means now inside of the hit function, I can check if bool is equal to enum.bool.sort. And if it's
We're just catching up here.
We're
already.
And we want to push the thing. Let's try. Make sure you have the sort selected. And now, if I hit block, it's being pushed away from the player. You might want to move a little.
Yeah, I got this cooking already. My issue though is that I have put the blob like right in front of my ass, so I need to go there. The reason why that's an issue is this guy's like trapping me in a corner because I made him super fast. Let's made you like 50 speed. Let's pump the brakes on homeboy. Look at that. Look at this dude. Ugh. I really don't like how I can't move. Oh, see, look at that. His animation's all kind of broken. Wonder why that is. So at least he's changing directions. That's proper. But like, Why is his idle animation? Oh, wait, hold on. Psych, homeboy didn't even get pushed back. That's not good. Let's try this one again. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and update my Godot scene. You're not gonna be a game capture. I'm gonna make you display capture? Sure. Okay, we're gonna call you sick. Okay, we're gonna call you ultra wide right. Let's get this preview enabled. Yeah, we gotta do a little draggy drag. Cool. I want to say that's probably about good. Let's put you down at the bottom and we'll get rid of you. Sick. And then while we're on top of it, let's just get rid of the Godot debugger scene. Cool. Oh, but you know what? That probably. Oh, hey, that didn't break my my automatic scene switching. Good shit.
Bit further away, but that is a minor detail. Finally, we will need a var health. Like for the tree, this thing is going to get 3.
Okay, let's figure out why this guy didn't get pushed though. So tree, create tween, target. Let's just do position. Not global position. Push distance. If I still set that to 0. No. That's what I meant to change. Let's do that to like 150. Arbitrary number. Let's change you down to like 20. Alright, let us replay this. Cool. A gets pushed. Alright, sick. I kind of want his movement though. When the last frames of those animations, when those are going off, I want that to not happen. And I want to say that is pretty easy because we would go to the enemy, go to the animation player. Yeah, so we're already already calling this queue free, but it would be pretty sick if we just didn't have him move. But I understand now that you could do that. I need to quit being like nitpicky, otherwise I'll never get through this. I'll never get through this tutorial if I just keep changing all these small things.
Health points. And we want to monitor this value via set value, in which, don't forget, you want to update the health value. And fundamentally, all that we want to do in here is if health is below or equal to 0, then we want to play a death animation, which doesn't exist yet. So let's do it below. Push, funk, death. For now, let's add passing here. And also, when the block gets hit, we want to reduce the health by 1. Inside of def, I want to set the speed to 0, so the blob stops moving.
Ah,
And
okay, that's smart.
The animation player and update the current animation to explode. Or whatever you have set inside of the animation player, you want to get this value. After this thing is done, we can get rid of the entire block scene, for which we can work inside of the animation player and inside of explode add a call method track. We are targeting the parent and then all the way at the end, insert a key and get Q3. Put it here and then we should get
Q3. I'm doing that, right?
and have the block disappear.
Sick.
once
Okay,
it's
I am
finished.
doing that.
Let's try. I have to make sure I get the sword. 1, 2, and 3. And now the block explodes, but doesn't disappear. That is probably because with the Q3 selected, time is at 1.433. But the duration of the animation is 1.4. So I just have to put it in the right position, 1.4, at the end of this timeline. Next attempt, let's attack the blob.
Yeah, so we got all that. We cooking with this already. Oh fuck. Nope. Here you go. Homeboy dies. Good shit. Okay.
Now it explodes and actually disappears. Much better. Alrighty, that was a long one, but at least now we have all of the tools. At this point, we do have all of the tools,
Ooh.
at least in terms of their basic functionality. That being said, we can't see what kind of tool we are getting inside of the game. To fix that, we're going to add a UI element that indicates what tool is being selected. Makes the game feel much more controllable. And for all of that, back inside of Godot, first of all, I want to close a couple of things. We don't need the plant, the tree, the flash sprite, or the blob enemy. In fact, inside of the game, the blob should be removed so we can focus on the tools, for which I want to create a new scene where the root node is a user interface, which I want to rename to Tool UI. Make sure you're saving the entire
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Chill out, brother.
thing. I want to create a new scene where the root node is a user interface, which I want to rename to Tool UI. Make sure you're saving the entire thing inside of scenes.
Pause, dog. User interface.
And root node is a user interface.
Oh. That's interesting that I couldn't just find that there, but okay.
Which I want to rename to Tool UI. Make sure you're saving the entire thing inside of scenes, and I want to have a folder for UI, Tool UI, save, and then this scene should be attached to the player. We can do it like this, where we are attaching the Tool UI scene to the player character node. This at the moment is not going to change anything, because inside of Tool UI we have nothing visible, but that we can change.
Ooh. Okay. This is named the same shit.
Just to test things, I want to add a color rectangle with
Sick.
a white color that spans the entire available space, like so. If I now run the game, we still cannot see anything. And now you might be confused. Inside of Tool UI, we are covering the entire available space. But in the player script, we can't see anything. That is because
Okay. Hold on. Let me do this self-discovery here, man. I don't know what you're talking about because I can fucking see this. Dog. What did I do?
In the player script, we can't see any available space.
Okay.
But in the player script, we can't see anything. That is because when you add a control node, so one of the green ones, to a 2D node, one of the blue ones, then the green node will be scaled down to the smallest possible size, which at the moment is always going to be 0.
I don't know about that.
0. That, however, we can change inside of layout, custom minimum size. If I set this to 100 in each dimension.
Wait, is this because I... Right? It's because I did that? Is that the reason? Oh, okay. Yeah, that is probably the reason why.
Run.
Layout. What is he changing? Layout, custom minimum size. Layout direction. Inherited. I love it when my stuff doesn't look like his.
Begin again. 0. That is
What did he do?
Rectangle with a white color that spans the entire available space. Like so.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so he anchored it. How does one... Sick. Okay. Okay. So because we anchored it... Okay. Now we are cooking here. Now I see what's going on. Now, what I don't quite understand, which we'll figure out here, I guess, in a moment, is this is an override. Is this correct? Layout, custom minimum size, custom. Oh, he changed that on that. Okay. Gotcha. That is why shit was fucked. Okay. Position? Is that what he did?
And now you use space. That is because
That is because.
Layout, custom minimum size. If I set this to 100 in each dimension, run again, then you can.
Oh man, hold on. It's layout mode, anchors. Layout direction.
See that we have.
Right, this homeboy we already agreed is anchored to there. So somehow, let's see if I save this. Okay, that for some reason centers it. I'll need to figure out, do like a full deep dive in UIs, because that is very confusing, to say the least. Okay, I need to use the restroom, so let me go ahead and
That works.
pause this. You guys can listen to some music. I will be right back. Sorry, muted myself, but let me tell you what I was gonna do is stream deck. Studio. Okay, whatever. I'll deal with that next stream. Not something that needs to be fixed today. You guys just get to see my pajamas. I'll be back. Let's figure out what's going on here.
On top of the player. Not ideal, but definitely a start. Now, just to get the basics right. This color rectangle later on is going to be a container for tools. The custom minimum size should be 100 pixels by 30 pixels. Once you have that, make sure...
Okay. Arbitrary, but I'm sure there's a reason. Okay, so this is what's weird to me. I'll have to figure this out. Why this doesn't just like resize when... I know it's the custom minimum size. But you know, when I save this, and then you go back into the player, and it's just this. Like, okay, I can understand that maybe the UI system is like falling on minimums and not... I have no fucking idea.
Or that you are clicking on this center button, so we are occupying the smallest possible space inside.
Okay, maybe that makes a little bit more sense now. Okay, that now makes more sense.
Center, which in game is going to look like this. It feels alright in terms of size, but we do have to move it up a bit. And for that, the tool UI at the moment covers the entire screen space. This I don't want to do anymore, so this should be centered. And after that,
Interesting. Cool. Sick.
this color rectangle should be a bit to the top. Imagine here's the player, and the tool UI should be above that point. For that, with the color rect selected, go to Actors Preset and then Custom. Once you have that, you can set the edit points, and I want to set all of those to 0. Brings us back to the original position.
No idea what that's doing, but cool.
At the bottom,
AI viewers, twitchmax.com. No thanks, bro.
that way we are moving up just a bit. Let's see how that looks. Definitely not enough.
I don't need fucking AI Twitch viewers.
And then we should at least somewhat see the player. And
How in the McFuck is at my front door? Shut up! Oh, that was the Zon. Let me go grab my package. I'll be right back. Go on. Alright. Sorry about that. I'm back. I'm back. Yeah, what do we do about band? Yes, generating sentiment AI STP. Fucking get out of here. Sick. Quick intermission. So I got my speaker wire. Very nice. Low gauge shit. This is the wire I've been looking for like a year. I'm just done. That's going to be great for the crafts. Let's go back. All right, so I understand what he... Okay, anchor point. Bottom 30. That didn't fix anything. Why are you a liar? Oh, negative 30. Not you. Wait. Negative 30. Anchors. Anchor preset. Custom. Undo all of you. And then negative 30. Ugh, why? What did I miss?
And then let's for now go with this. Once you have that, you can set the points, and I want to set all of those to 0. Brings us back to the original position. At the bottom, we can add an offset by setting this to negative 10.
Oh, I see. Okay. It was the offsets. Okay. Okay.
That way, we are moving up just a bit. Let's see how that looks. Definitely not enough. Let's for now go with negative 30. And then we should at least somewhat see the player, and that feels a good bit better. This color rectangle should be holding all of the tools, which means it should be a tool container. And the node type that we want to work with, so right click and change type, should
Sorry, we're gonna watch this a little bit.
be an HBox container. That way we can organize things on the horizontal axis. Although with that in practice, you cannot see anything anymore. For that, we will need
Okay, so he made this a tool container.
another box to work with, so right click and change type, should be
Okay. Interesting. HBox container. Sick. Alright, so this is going to be using like the Swift UI system, HBox, VBox, that kind of stuff. That makes sense.
an HBox container. That way we can organize things on the horizontal axis. Although with that in practice, you cannot see anything anymore. For that, we will need another node, which is also going to be a user interface, which I called Tool UI Texture.
Tool UI texture. Okay. I see what he's doing. So he's making a scene. Texture. Okay, cool. So we're just making a texture here, and then we're gonna go ahead and add those children to this. Sick.
Save this one inside of the same folder, like so. The only thing that we want to do in here
Yeah,
is
sprite.
now add a texture rectangle. This is what the player will actually see. So for example, if you go to graphics, there we have somewhere inside of the icons, all of the tools, and also later on, all of the items.
Okay.
like an apple, corn, things like that. Although for now, I only want to use x.png. On top of that, inside of Tool UI texture, the layout, I do want to set a custom minimum size of 20 by 20 pixels. And this node should not scale. Inside of Anchor preset, set it to top left, and then we are covering 20 by 20 pixels.
Whoa! Hold on. Doc, something here is a little fucked up. We're in text tree. Okay, so custom minimum size and layout, and then homeboy need a top right. Okay, but that's like way out of scale now.
Inside of that space, I want to have the X. And to scale it properly, I want to set the expand mode to fit width. On top of that, make sure that with this button selected, you want to cover the entire full rectangle. That way, we are inside of the Tool UI texture space. Save the entire thing, and back inside the Tool UI, to this tool container, add Tool UI texture. This one here. If you now duplicate this, six times, then you get a vague preview of how the entire thing is actually going to look like.
Interesting. Oh, it's kind of weird. Should like always be. I would say it should always be in front of everything. I don't know. Would that break immersion? So like that just. Yeah, I mean, how often are you going to see that shit? But
looks okay. We do have to refine it a bit, but definitely a start. But let's go through it step by step. Number one, all of these Tool UI textures should disappear because we want to generate them dynamically.
Sick. All right. Hey, you know all that shit we just added? Fucking shit, can it? Dope.
That to Tool UI, add a script with one of the defaults. When this scene is ready, so func_ready, I want to create all of these Tool UI textures. For that, I need a bit of information. Most importantly, I will need the kind of texture that we want to use. So for example, for the X, we want to have x.png. For the fishing enum, we want to have fish.png, and so on. If you look at the pre-made and code snippets, there you can see we have the const tool textures. Copy the entire thing, like so, and then paste it into tool UI.gd. Via this const dictionary, we can connect the enum of the tool with a texture from the X folder. So X is connected to x.png, O to ho.png, and so on. And to keep everything organized, I want to call a texture setup function, which is going to accept up to 4 arguments. The first one is going to be for all of the enum.
want to say hi? Come here. Oh, I know. Yep. Use your claws. Use them all. Oh, my goodness. Hi, baby. Mwah. This is my fat cat, Luna. Oh, God. She was like 14 pounds. It's not my fault. She just, likes to do fat cat shit. Okay, so I'm going to assume this is going to be just a method. Sick. Movie for now. Okay, so he's doing a lot of these. So he's preloaded. Hold on. So this is a dictionary, and the values could be preloaded. Okay. I mean, I wonder what dictionary. What is that type? I don't know. Ooh, I don't know what type this is. That is not very helpful. Fire array. That's not really that helpful. Textures base class for all texture types. Texture 2D base image. Okay. I mean, yeah, we'll have to. Ooh. Exported member. Oh, interesting. Okay, so maybe you cannot export that. Hello, H1404. How you doing today? Okay. Well, I mean, that's a Godot C# export types. I'm just chilling, man. Quit my job last week or 2 weeks ago, so now I'm just learning how to make video games. It's something I've always wanted to do for a while, but you know, no time like the present. Do you make anything? That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do either. Dictionary. Exporting Godot dictionaries. Okay, interesting. Okay, so I gotta use this like special Godot dictionary. Dictionary. I want a toolenum and I think just a texture. Cool, so that does work. I hope you made it, man. Good luck. Yeah, no, I did really well in my job as a software engineer. I was a senior software engineer for a large company. Yeah, man, just AI and poor management just burnt me out. So taking like a sabbatical from actual work and seeing if video games are something I want to do, or I don't know. We'll figure something out.
In my case, it's going to be enum.tool.values. That way, if you look at enums for the tools, we will be getting all of these values. In fact, let me create a function. So func texture.
Yeah, man, I'm not a fan of AI really at all.
Enum_list.
I mean,
Whichever.
it's a long topic of discussion, but yeah, I just didn't I didn't sign up to babysit like Claude instances all day. I actually enjoy programming.
Project, we're getting a list with the enums, where we are going from 0 to 5, with 0 being the x and 5 being the seeds, I believe. Whatever we're getting here.
Yeah, Claude, it's getting better. It's definitely getting better for sure.
Just to keep things consistent.
At a scary pace.
I want to have the textures. This is going to be the enum dictionary that we have created up here. So the data type for this one is always going to be a dictionary. After that, I want to have a container or parent, whatever you want to call it. This is going to be an HBox container. In fact, the HBox container that we have created here. Tool container at the moment. That's going to be it for now, although later on.
Okay, so I mean, I'll tools, textures, which is going to be this guy. Nope, not you. Textures. And then HBox container. Okay, and then it has been a while since I've done this. Tool enum dot get values as underlying type retrieves an array of values underlying constraints. Oh, I haven't had a. I mean, this seems like a weird thing to do. I don't know why you would need to pass this. Honestly, I'm just not gonna really like listen to this guy. It's fine. I'll remove that. There's been some questionable coding decisions. Tell me a secret. How much it takes to learn a programming language? I mean, it's not really a secret, man. It's just persistence. You know, you got to be okay with spending a long time learning really small things. That's like the biggest thing. And honestly, the programming language, you wouldn't know this until like later after you've learned to program a bit. The programming language isn't even the most important thing to learn. It's concepts of programming, and that's kind of like a difficult concept to get your head wrapped around. But it's kind of like when you're going to build a house. You can learn how to use a staple gun, right? But just learning how to use like a staple gun or a nailer or something like that isn't going to teach you how to build a house. It's by like doing projects and experimenting that you learn how to actually build the house with the tool that you're given. So that's kind of like the analogy of learning how to program, right? So you could start with really any programming language. If you want to start with an easy one, start with maybe Python or TypeScript or JavaScript. If you want to get into just some like very basic programming. What is there anything in particular you're like interested in learning how to program?
Setup. I want to get the tool textures, and then the container is going to be the tool container. Once we have that, we have all of the basic info that we need to instantiate tool UI texture with the right information.
Okay. Okay, so with the tool textures in the container, let's take a look, see what this actually looks like now. Interesting. Oh, nice. Okay. So new value, and I think, so for axe, can we do that? Hell yeah. Okay. So now we're gonna do the hoe. Giggity. Okay, add another sword. Giggity. Water. Where's water? Nice. Fish. And seed. Seed. What is seed? Fisher? No. Oh, no. Sprinkler? No. What is this man set as?
That being said, we do need the scene itself, which means inside of tool UI, besides the tool textures, I want to have a var tool button scene where we are preloading the tool UI texture.tscn. I want to create a for
Preload tool texture scene. Okay. tool texture scene. Sick. And that means we should be able to that guy. Okay. Okay. Homie, what's the seed? What is the seed tool? Is it the sprinkler? We'll see.
To cycle through.
Actually. Seed is wheat. 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 Okay. Wheat. Sick. Okay, so we got all those loaded. We got a tool container. We got our texture scene. Let's get cooking.
And array, just to keep things consistent. After that, I want to have the textures.
Well,
It's going to
let's
be
get back
what
a
we're
little bit.
getting from an instantiated parameter. At the moment, though, when we are calling texture setup, I want to get the tool textures, and then the container is going to be the tool container. Once we have that, we have all of the basic info that we need to instantiate tool UI texture with the right information. That being said, we do need the scene itself, which means inside of tool UI, besides the tool textures, I want to have a var tool button scene where we are preloading the tool UI.
Also, it might be kind of hard to. I do apologize in advance. This tutorial is using Godot script, which is the programming language built for Godot, the engine. But I use C#, which the engine also supports. So you'll see me kind of deviating here. Also, another lesson too is I don't want to have to learn Godot and a whole nother programming language. That's called cognitive load. I don't want to do that. So instead, if there's something that I do already know, I'm going to go ahead and use that. So that's my reasoning for using C# here.
I want to create a for loop to cycle through all of the enums. For, let's call this one the enum ID in enum list. After that, we can create the tool texture, and I realized this should be tool button scene, this should be the tool texture scene, because it's not a button, it's just a texture, you can't press it. We want to have the tool texture scene and instantiated. After it has been instantiated, container dot add child along with the tool texture.
Okay. So, for, and we don't really do for in. So for each tool enum tab. Enum is not valid at this point. Yeah, you're probably right. It's been a minute. C# iterate all iterate enum values. Yeah. Oh, okay. Get values. Enum.get values. All right. It's been a minute. I apologize. I've I've been having to use Claude forced to use Claude now for the better half of a year. So I'm starting to forget parts of the language, like little small things. Thanks. You have to be good at solving problems. I learned Python basics. I'm learning cybersecurity. Oh, nice. Good shit, man. Yeah, that's a very important field right now. I would imagine that is not going to go anywhere, uh, especially with the advent of AI. This might break on me. Kind of looks like it might fail. So
This would already
we'll
be
see here.
something. If I now run the script, you can see that we are getting the 6 tools again. We are always getting the X.
Okay, let's try it. See what breaks. I got a feeling I did something wrong. Oh, hey. Still getting the axe, as Mr. Man said, so. Yeah, for those just joining, we are building out this tool UI tool changer. And let's continue.
Because that is the default texture that we are getting in there. Not perfect yet, but definitely a start. To go a bit further and customize this texture, I want
Yeah, duh, you probably want to do like tool texture dot. Oh, it's just set to a node. It's just set to a node and yeah, we don't have a type for that. So now what's nice is if I were to just go ahead and create a script on the tool texture, then I would be able to actually type out like tool texture and it would work. I think that's what I might just do. Come over to tool texture. Yeah, we'll just call it tool UI texture. Even if we just make this guy blank. Now I should be able to go in here and say tool UI texture. Sick. Now I think I can do like tool texture dot. Let's see what he was going to do.
The defaults, as always, are perfectly fine. What I want to do in here is to
C# easy. I wouldn't say it's necessarily
setup
easy.
where we are getting
You would have to learn object-oriented programming.
enum, which is going to be enum dot.
Oh, sick. Okay, so he is actually going ahead and doing this. So let's not remove those because I forget what they're called all the time. Yeah, it's not like terribly hard. You just kind of need to get your mind wrapped around the I'm sorry. Around like the limitations of object-oriented programming and like yeah, it's there's literal books. I have a whole shelf full of books. That'd be my other advice is read a lot of books.
Cool. Then I want to have a main texture, which is going to be a texture to B. And all of this I do want to use right away. The new tool is going to be the tool that we need to identify what we are running with. which is a fancy way of saying I want to store it inside a variable tool enum, and this is going to be enum.tool. The value for this one is going to be what we're getting from the parameter. Like so. Besides that, since we are getting the texture from the parameter as well, we can grab the texture rectangle right away, like so, and override.
See, is the tool UI texture? Yeah, so he wants to be able to convert this to a texture from a texture 2D to a texture rectangle. That is a little odd.
Right, texture with the main texture value. With that in place, we have to.
Texture, because I think those are like of the same base class. Texture equals, okay, we can do that. So that way we're correct in our dealio here. And then now that we're, oh, I didn't make this on the wrong one, did I? Nope. Build. You are. Keep that for right now so we can actually build this, and there we go. Cool. Save you. Okay, so let's think about what we're actually doing here. We're going through all of our tools. We're getting a tool texture scene. We then need to set the tool texture dot setup and we'll call this tool, and then tool textures at tool. Okay, so this is taking, yeah, this is 2D. There we go. That just break everything in here? No, that all seems good. If we build, we're chilling.
Call the setup function inside of tool UI after we have instantiated the scene. Tool texture dot setup, where we need the tool enum and a texture. The tool enum is simply going to be the enum underscore ID from the for loop, the one up here. The texture we can get from textures, and in there we can get the enum ID. That should be it. Inside of the game.
Sick. Let's try that out. Hey, let's go. Sick. Okie dokie. All right, 404. I will be right back. Need to take a break for my eyes. If you're going to get into cybersecurity, learn the 20-20-20 rule. Stare at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds. 20 feet away, 20 seconds. Every 20 minutes? Is that the rule? But I'm like way over. I'll be right back, but I'll play some music for you. Yeah, just my eyes are starting to hurt a little bit, so I need to look away from the screen. So I will be right back. All right, we are back. We are back, baby. Back streets back. All right. Cool. Hoe kind of looks like a lock with a stick in it. Well, nice. Now I figure we're gonna probably mess with all of these,
We are now getting
the padding and all this.
definitely progress. The one thing that we definitely have to work on is going to be sizing. For which, inside of the texture rectangle, I want to set a custom minimum size. So with texture rectangle selected, go to layout and set a custom minimum size of 16 by 16. This doesn't change anything at the moment because we are scaling this texture up to cover this entire space, which is just a tiny bit larger, 20 by 20 pixels. To fix that, you want to center it inside of the space, and that makes it a bit smaller. We do want to have just a bit of space around it, so we can scale it up later on without making it look too weird. But now, inside of the game, this is drastically better. I think we need to move it up just a bit, but that's a small thing. Inside of Tool UI container, layout, and anchor off. I think we need to move it up just a bit, but that's a small thing. Inside of Tool UI container, layout, and anchor offsets, set the bottom side to -10. I think those numbers have changed, but just play around with them and see what looks good. I think that works pretty well.
Okay. Okay.
Sometimes Godot can be really weird about these values. Anyway, with that, we have a good container, and that looks pretty alright. That being said, inside of the game, we only want to show this when we are changing the tool. And while we are doing that, we also want to highlight the currently selected tool. Because at the moment, if I change the tool, we can see all of the tools, but we can't see which one is selected. So, not great yet. When this seems ready, I want to hide the tool container. Tool container dot hide. And then we only want to show it when the player is changing the tool. For which we have to work inside of player.g.
Makes sense. Couldn't you just make it
Height
tool container? Okay. So that should hide that. All right. Then we already heard we're about to be tree. We don't need you. Level. Okay, let's go to player. So animate, move, get basic input, handle tool input. Okay. So now this is where we are going to want to include. I like to just do this a little ahead. Export. Make these same line, so. Private. This is going to be a package scene. It's going to be our tool container. Actually, it's the tool UI. Sick. We could type that now. So if we go back into our player, we now have this, which is our tool UI. Nice. Okay. I like it when things come together. All right, so tool container. I'm just gonna assume we're gonna do some fun shit like if forward, backwards. Okay, we're gonna have to do some funness, but for right now, let's do tool container dot show. See if that does the trick. So it's hidden. Okay, so tools container is the HBox container. Oh man, I really don't like. Really don't like how we're doing that. HBox container. Yeah, see, because then we have to access. Ooh, this is interesting. I have not had to do this before. So let me think about this. So what we're trying to do is get access to the tool UI's child scene. That is a tool UI tool container. So say bar container. Let's update this to tool UI. Okay, so tool container equals tool UI dot get. What can we get from you? Get child, that is a tool UI texture. Takes an index. The child index. Oh man, I don't like that. Get child. Get. Could do this and then get first or default where node type of node equals okay. I can. Let's see what Homeboy was going to do.
Then we only want to show it when the player is changing a tool, for which we have to work inside of player.gd. When we are getting the basic input and changing the tool, we are doing this one here. Then I want to get the tool UI, the one that we have attached to the player, this one here. Let me drag it in, tool UI, and then we want to reveal it. This function does not exist at the moment, so
Let's try this again. Oh, no reference exception. Hey, that's my name. Okay. Yikes. What did I not do? I must have forgotten to reassign you because I've been dicking with you a lot. Sick. Fucking wonderful. Now if I press E, hey, it shows, but it doesn't unshow. Fair, fine. Welcome, y'all.
Inside of tool UI.gd, and then we basically want to do the opposite that we have done before. Tool container.show. If I now run the game, change the tool, we can see the tools permanently. But this should disappear after a short amount of time. To the tool UI, I want to add a timer node, which is going to be the height timer. That's going to get a duration of 1 second, and it should be one shot. We also want to connect the signal to the scene, so connect timeout on hideout timer. Once this timer finishes, I want to do what we have done up here, tool container.height. Once we're revealing the container, I want to get the height timer and start it. With that, when we are changing the tool, it should disappear after a second. And if I keep on pressing the tool change, the UI keeps on being visible because we keep on restarting the timer.
I mean, that works, but I just don't like that. I think as long as you're holding down the E button, you should be able to see it. Let me think about this. Yeah, because you can put it like on some sort of timer, but let's say you press E. It's almost like holding tab. It's like a lot of other games. It's like you hold tab and then you can like arrow, or you could scroll, kind of scroll wheel through it. I kind of like that better, personally. But, alright. I guess we'll just go with whatever he wants us to do, because why not? Set timer. Okay. Timer, signal, timeout. Let's connect this to tool. Sick. I don't think that actually adds. Yeah. Public void on timer timeout. Okay. So I did do signal once before. I want to say there's like a special thing you gotta do. So this is a delegate tool use event handler. Oh, I think that's me creating a signal that goes out. Okay. Yeah, that's to emit it. Okay. But to read one, I don't think I need to do that. So I think what I need to do instead is go back to Godot. Godot. Okay. And wait time, 1 second. And then what was I needing to do? Export the timer. Private timer, tool timer. I think here we do tool timer dot start. Scene tree. Probably just start. Do tool timer dot stop. Cool. And then we want this as a one shot. Okay, let's see if that worked. Nope. We are still seeing it. Shit. Okay, process callback. No. Okay, signal. Let's disconnect you. Let's try this again. So let's pick and on timer timeout. Okay. So maybe that did it. Let's save. Runner again. And fuck me. Okay.
Like keeps it here started. With that.
Oh, I'm dumb. I am dumb. Why are you so dumb? It's already done. Tool container dot hide. That was it. I clearly messed something up.
I'm going to add a timer node, which is going to be the height timer that's going to get a duration of 1 second, and it should be one shot. We also want to connect the signal to the scene, so connect timeout on hideout timer. Once this timer finishes, I want to do what we have done up here, tool container.height. Once we're revealing the container, I want to get the height timer and start it. With that.
Yeah. Is that not what I did? So show and start, and then hide. Maybe I'm just dumb. Maybe it's Maybelline. I don't know. Ah, it's because I didn't assign the timer. Fuck. See? It's always something dumb. Hey, there we go. There we go. Now I assume the next thing he's going to want to go over is like updating the probably the zoom or the offset would be my guess of the actual texture. Because right now it's like this 16 by 16, but we're probably going to change the or like transform the size to 20 by 20.
When we are changing the tool, it should disappear after a second. And if I keep on pressing the tool change, the UI keeps on being visible because we keep on restarting the timer. That looks good. With that covered, we have to work on the actually important part. If any of these tools is selected, the tool should scale up a tiny bit. So for example, if the X is selected, the X should be a bit larger than the other tools. For that, inside of Tool UI, when we are revealing all of the tools, we need to know what the current tool of the player is. That we can do in a couple of ways. But fundamentally, I want to get, let's call it a target. And this target basically is going to be the current tool or the current scene of the player. For now, we are only going to work with the tool. There are a couple of ways of getting this value, but in our case, what I think is quite simple. Since the tool UI is a direct child of the player, what we can do inside of Tool UI is get the parent, and that way we're getting the player right away. Now you do have to be careful here. If the Tool UI node was not a direct child of the player, this would not work. If we ran get parent instead of the animation tree, we would get this animation node. But in our case, this one works perfectly fine, so get parent is good enough. Since this is the player, we can get the current tool right away. Now we have a target that we want to scale up. And effectively, we want to look at all of these tool texture scenes and check if the attached enum is equal to the current tool, which we're going to do via for texture in the tool container.get children. That way, we are targeting all of the tool textures. And on there, I want to call a highlight function, for which we only want to check if the target is equal to texture dot this tool enum that we have assigned to it earlier. Let me copy it and paste it in there, and do make sure that this is a comparison operator. Once we have that, inside of Tool UI texture, func highlight with one parameter, let's call this one selected. It's going to be a boolean, and all we have to do to scale it up is to create a tween. Create a tween. Besides that, we will need a target underscore size, which is a vector2 with a size of 20 by 20. This is the maximum size, and this we only want to get if this tool texture is selected. If that is not the case, else I want to return to a vector 2 that is 16 by 16 pixels.
All right, I think we're gonna call it there. Thank you all for joining. I'm gonna head out of here. It's been a day.